basic skills. People think, I don't need basic skills with my dog. My dog's a show dog. And then they get into the ring, and their dogs won't pay attention to them, and their dogs disconnect, and the dogs want to go sniff everything on the ground and look at all the bait and react to other dogs and stuff like that. All things that could be eliminated if we could just do basic skills. Now, I want the dog to explore. I want a dog to come into a ring and see everything this ring has to offer, and then eventually get to the point where it's like, you know what? There's nothing in this ring that's more exciting than Uncle Eric. And how do I get the dog to want to come to the area that I want the dog to come to? Well, we're going to work in what's called zones. Zones are places where I'm going to go, and I'm going to look, and I'm going to point right there, and magically a dog will appear. Look at that nose. Yes, it's a good nose. That's a good nose. And that's how you get a dog to come to your area. So, what is a zone? A zone is an area. That's it. Now, if I stand up like this, I want to start at my feet. My feet are going to point to my zone. My hips are going to be square to the zone. My shoulders are square to the zone. My eyes are going to be looking at the zone. And if I'm looking at my zone right now, can you tell exactly where I want you to stand?
No, I'd figure it was somewhere over there.
It's somewhere out there, exactly. Now, if I get to a point where I want to like scan an area and look at that area and then pinpoint it, I do all these things, and now I'm going to look right where I want that dog to be, and guess what happens? All of a sudden, you get a dog in that zone. So how many years have I've been working with this dog hands-on?
Maybe grand total,
But hands-on, where
3
him and
minutes.
I have been actually working together.
2 to 3 minutes in 2021 and 45 seconds now.
And I got this dog to do exactly what I wanted because he's reading my body language. Now, what do most people do? Most people, and the camera's going to be used, so when you watch this video, most people are going to be, come here. Mwah. And so you're putting all this energy and pushing that dog back.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is I'm letting the dog see, you know what? There's a lot of stuff here, but there's nothing cooler than being with Uncle Eric. So if I want a dog to come to a zone, toes, hips, shoulders, eyes, and even point to where that spot is. And you can get a dog to come to this zone, that zone, that zone, that zone. That's step number one right there. When that dog starts to learn to come to that zone, then you want to reward them. You give them a little treat, you show them some excitement, some energy. And let's say that dog is like out exploring and the judge is looking over, you need them to come to that zone now. I'm going to play with my imaginary dog. Oh, there you are. There's that dog. Oh, right there. And all of a sudden the dog appears. See how magic that is? Good job. Yay! That was awesome. So that's how we get them into the zone. Once they get into that zone, then you want to look at where you want their butt to be pointed. Good, good. Stay, stay. Oh, that was fantastic. Yay! And you can get that butt to be pointed wherever you want. So later on, when we talk about free stacking, I can get that dog's butt pointed whatever direction I want it, which means I can get the head pointed whatever direction I want. So this is what we want to get a dog to come into an area that we want to start working with this dog. Now, what do you want to do when that dog gets that zone? Well, that's up to you. If you want it to free stack, then we'll get into this in more detail later on. But as soon as the dog is in the zone, I take my eyes off that dog because now I'm not putting any pressure on it. If the dog comes into the zone and I'm like this, I'm putting negative pressure on this dog. Disrespect, especially with dogs that are very well bred, that are working dogs. That's one right there. So now that I get my dog in the zone, now I can start practicing specific goals, specific tasks. So for instance, on a basic skill, one of the biggest, most basic thing that people that have show dogs freak out about is to teach your dog to sit. Now, when I'm teaching a dog to sit, what I want to do is I want to get him into that zone, and then I want to give them a command that they can relate to in communication that tells them to put their butt on the ground. So when I do this, I'm going to stand just like I did with that zone right there, get him into that zone, and then I'm going to like flip a light switch to get him to switch. You know, that means put your head up, put your butt down, sit. Here we go, good. Sit. Yes, that was good. So the first command I gave him was more of a personal connection. We'll get into that later on too. But then I went into a working. Sit. Yes, good job. Now I use that yes to mark that moment right there, and that is going to motivate them to want to work even harder the next time. So I got him into the zone. I gave him the command sit, which is the verbal portion of that, and then the body language of that is just taking my hand and act like I'm flipping a light switch. Now, when I went from personal to working, I used a different tone. The first one was kind of weak and nice, sit. The next one was more of a stern command, sit. Now, I can do that with my body language too. If I want a dog to sit, then I'll go like this, that's more personal. If I want a dog to sit, then I'll put more effort into all my body parts right here. So when am I going to use the two? If there's distractions, a new area, we're not quite sure what's here yet, more of a guardian breed, and so I'm checking things out, you know, I may have to be a little firmer with that command. So instead of just a calm little personal connection sit like this, I'm going to put more into that. I'm going to use all my body parts. So that's the basic command of sit, and how I can go from personal to working connection by energizing more of my body into that command right there. Okay, so we have zones, we have sit. The next command is down. Down can be taught in two different stages. The first stage for down is I'll usually put a treat in my hand like this. I'll put the dog in a sit to start with, and then I'll take this piece of bait. I've always used the Northwest Naturals because this stuff makes me seem like a better trainer than I really am. But I'll take the piece of bait like this, and I want the dog's nose to have to come underneath this. And so I'll stretch them out. So I'll bring them over here like this. Sit. Good. Good job. Down, 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 down. Yo, that was good. Sit. Yes, that was perfect. Oh, that was good. Down. Yes, that was fantastic. This dog's a great demo dog because I put him on a sit. I gave him a weak down. He's like, nah, you're going to have to work a little harder than that.
He thought about it, though.
Yeah, he thought about it, and then he caught himself and said, no, I'm not going to do that.
I'm not going to do it.
So then what I did is I upped my energy. Did he follow that command after that? So that's where people have to understand the difference between a personal and a working. If I have a dog that's refusing, and I know the dog understands, it's kind of like, okay, for those of you people that are in France, they understand English. They're just telling you they don't.
Yeah.
But when I'm doing this and he's like, oh, no, I'm not going to do it, then I'm going to put more energy into it, and then he's going to be forced to do that command right there.
Right.
So we have sit, we have down. Now, this is the beginning, the entry level of the down command right there, where I'm pushing down to the ground and stretching that dog forward, and it goes into that down position. Now, later on, once it starts to learn, as I shape the verbal command, sit, down. So he didn't follow that because he was following this treat right here. So sit, down, 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 Good sit, good sit. Yes. Down, down. So he doesn't have
He doesn't
that.
understand that.
Doesn't understand that yet. But
Yeah.
that's eventually what we want to get to. So that means that he has to understand the verbal command down first. Down. Yes, good job. So we shape that, we mark that with that yes, that he did a great job. And then as soon as he starts putting together both the body language and the verbal part of that, then we can go into the position of down. Why do we go into this as a down? Because dogs cannot see at great distances very well. So if a dog is all the way across the street, a car is coming, I can tell them to sit, I can tell them to down, and they'll see those body language commands right there, and they'll understand what that is. But you want to make sure that they have that good solid shape of the verbal command first before we switch to that alternative. So you've been using body language commands with this dog, and you talked about in the beginning of this where some of those commands may not be exactly what you've seen me use, and that's okay. You know, you can train your dog however you want, but if you want to switch more towards the norm of what the dogs understand in this body language, then as long as they understand the verbal part of that and you add the different body command, then they'll go switch right to it. Otherwise, just take your time with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have zones, we have sit, we have down. Now we need to get them to stand. Now, these are things, like I said, that you can implement into a program where they're potting, they're eating, all that stuff. Okay, so let's get our dog over to a zone right here. Oh, look at that. Look at what we've got right there. There it is. Yes, there it is. Sit. Sit. Yes, good job, good job. Down, down. Oh, you're gonna be stubborn. Sit, down. Yes, that was good. Stand, stand. Yes, that was a good stand. So stand, okay, now go play. So stand, what that is that it's like you're opening up a drawer. They're in the down position, and I'm opening up this drawer, backing up like this, and they get from that down position to that stand position right there. So we've got zones, we've got sit, we've got down, we've got stand. So I want you to go ahead and try a zone first.
Okay.
If you get them into the zone, then go ahead and try the sit command.
Okay. I think he'll go to the zone because he's following me.
Okay. Perfect.
Good, yes.
Perfect.
Yes. Yay, yes, that was good, except I don't know what I did with my, oh, it's behind me. You gotta love that. The treats are behind you.
Tell her.
Oh, I know, I was slow. Good job.
Okay, get him back over to his zone again. Okay, so get him into that zone and then give him the sit command.
Yes. Sit.
Nice.
Good, yes. Yes.
Okay, get him into a down.
Down.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Now
Good job.
Now get him to stand.
Whoops.
Okay,
Here.
so go sit,
Sit.
down,
Down.
and stand.
Stand.
Good.
Yes, good job.
Okay, now
Yes.
ignore him. Now, the other thing too is in the beginning, like when you gave him the stand, it was like super quick.
Uh-huh.
So in the
make it
beginning,
slower.
you might want to slow that down or say his name, pause, and then give him a command. The more you get into a situation where you're going more into that working, like he's distracted or he's being obnoxious or something like that, then the more you may want to say his name, give that pause, and then the command with quick energy. And then it's almost like he's forced to do that right there. Your praise. There's two typical words that people will use. Good.
Good,
Is
yeah.
usually the average one. Now, when I'm working with a dog with a really good brain, the working dog, the dog that was bred to do jobs, I'll use good when they kind of sort of do it. They're making an attempt. They're making effort. Good job. Good job. That's like, hey, little buddy, you know, good job. Yay. But when they nail it,
Then it's a big,
sit. Yes. Good job.
okay.
So yes has more to it. Yes is excitement. Yes is going to motivate that working dog to want to do it again, over and over and over again. Now, a lot of times people in the pet industry will use a clicker. So they're using this to market, and they'll go, okay, the dog just did a good job. Okay. So you're marking that, and that's good if you're teaching your companion dog. But if you're working with a dog that you want to show spirit, enthusiasm, attitude, that's when you're marking that with that yes right there. Because that lets them know you did it absolutely perfect. And they're going to want to do it perfect every time, and they're going to want to do it with even more energy every single time. So you create that forward momentum of them really wanting to do this with everything that they've got right there. Good work ethics. So are you waiting for the next command here?
He is.
So we worked on zones, we worked on sit, we worked on down, we worked on stand. Now we're going to come to a command that has, again, two variations of that. One variation is if I tell you to wait here, what does that mean in your mind?
I'm going to wait here until something else happens.
Yeah, you're going to wait here, but it doesn't mean that you have to turn into a statue.
Right.
It's kind of like wait in this general
around.
area right
Yeah.
here. But if I tell you stay, that means freeze. That means just stay right there. Don't move. You can breathe, and that's about it. A lot of hunting dogs use a command called whoa. That's even a higher level right there. When they're given the command whoa, that means like, you know, your blood can flow, you can breathe a little bit.
Don't move your eyes though.
But don't move. You know, it's like you've been hit with a frozen ray gun or something like that. So they all have different levels of intensity. Now, the other part of that is that when I tell a dog to wait, and then I give it a secondary command, that's okay. But if I tell a dog to stay, and I give it a secondary command, that's not okay. Because if I tell a dog to stay, then I have to give a release command from there to go to that secondary command. So that's very important that that is followed all the time. If you say wait, and you're going to go to a secondary command, that's when I would use the command wait right there. If I'm going to take a dog and go, like, for instance, when we get into scent work, you're going to put the dog into a stand stay or a sit stay, and then you're going to point your body and eyes and everything towards that target, and you're going to release them and then give the command find it. And we'll get into that later on in the week. But if I was just to go wait, then that means just kind of hang out till I give you another command, which could be find it. Now, it can get a little confusing because, you know, sometimes people will do this, sometimes people will do that. I have a tendency to try to use the command stay more consistently and then go to a wait and then kind of play back and forth so they learn not to break on the stay command. So you can use both commands, but make sure that stay command and a release command is solid first. What are you using for a release command right now?
All right.
All right. Oh, good one. Mm-hmm. I like to use all right because, again, a lot of people don't use that. A lot of people will use okay. And then you got okay, and we have a tendency to use okay in our vocabulary all the time. And they're, oh, okay, what are you releasing me from? If you just happen to say the word okay, but you're not going to use the word all right all the time. Mm-hmm. So what I'd like you to do now is I would like you to bring the dog in, put him in either a sit, a down, or a stand, give him a stay command, and then I want you to put a treat onto another target and say, all right, and then point towards that treat to release him to that treat. So
Okay.
don't worry about where your dog's at. Don't look at your dog. Look at your zone and get
Okay.
your dog to come into that zone. And if you have to use your imaginary dog to get him there, go ahead and do that. And magically a dog appears. Isn't that cool?
Yes.
It's like magic.
Yes. Sit. Sit.
So he tried to do
Sit.
it. There you go. More working.
Stay. All right. Yes.
Good job.
Good job.
That was awesome.
That was excellent.
That was fantastic.
Good job.
Isn't that zone thing cool?
It is cool.
So one of the other things I want to talk about here is setting your dog up for success. So in the beginning, setting your dog up for success, if I know I'm going to put the treat there on that target, then I want to get my dog in my zone where the butt is facing that way, the head's facing this way, put them into the sit, then the stay. Now they have a direct line of sight of where that's going to be instead of going like that. And I just call that setting your dog up for success.
Okay.
Okay, so you did a real good job with that. We've got zone, we've got sit, we've got down, we've got stand, we've got stay, we've got a release command. So the next thing that we can get into is watch it. So watch it is when we have a dog, and that's okay, just ignore him. Watch it is when we have a dog where we're trying to show the judge expression. And so, thank you. So when we're showing a dog's there it is, good job, there it is, good job. So just basically redirecting them right now. So if I'm showing expression, at first, I may get something like this right here, and I'll get a little can of cheese and squirt some cheese on this and let the dog know there's cheese. Right there. Good. Yes! Good job. That's some, oh, you knocked it over. There's no cheese on the other side. Okay, so he knows that there's cheese on here now. This is something we put cheese on. Okay, I'm going to put some more cheese on this. I'm going to put some more cheese on this. All right. All right. Right there. Yes, good job. So what I'm going to do now that he knows that there's cheese on there, and I can do this on anything, a chair, a cone, a leg of something right there, but I want you to put this dog in either a sit, down, or stand, stay, and I want you to point all your body parts and your eyes on that while he's in this stay, and I want you to tell him, watch it. Now, when he looks at that, in the beginning, release him to let him get that cheese. The advanced portion of that command there is you're going to give him the command to watch it, and you're going to look for a certain intensity. When you see that intensity that breed should display, release him to get that cheese. So that's how we can set him up where he's in a perfect stand, like a free stack or something like that. The judge is coming, and you're looking at where you want him to look, so you don't actually really have to throw bait. You just look over there and you say, watch it, watch it, watch it. And he has that beautiful intensity. Then you can go, all right, and you can just give him a treat like this. So that's the progression to teach that beautiful expression that you want that dog to give in the ring right there. So you pick a zone. So what zone do you want him to be in?
How about, let's use this.
Okay, so that's where you want him? Mm-hmm. Okay, and then where do you want the cheese to be?
Probably back here,
Okay.
so it's in front of him.
So I will put this over here, and your task is to get him into the zone. Then as soon as he's in the zone, your face is going to look at where you want his butt to be.
And when he gets to the zone, do I still tell him yes and treat him? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Each phase.
Each thing.
Yep.
Okay.
And then so you're going to look at where you want his butt to be and then put him into whatever position you want and tell him stay.
Okay.
I'm going to put the cheese on here. You're going to tell him watch it. And when you see his eyes go to that right there, because he may look away or whatever, but when you see his eyes go to that, I want you to release him and make sure that your toes are pointed, your hips are square, your shoulders are square, your eyes are on the target right there, and you just send him out to that target when you release him.
So just after I make him stay, I come over here.
No, you're going to stay with him.
I'm going to stay with him.
Yep.
So I get him here,
Right?
and then I turn
Yes.
like
So
that.
you'll tell him stay.
Stay.
Yep.
Okay.
And then you'll turn, and your body is telling him that's where I want you to watch.
Okay.
So you'll say, watch it, watch it. And if you have to, you can still say that stay command right there. Watch it, watch it. And when he looks at that cheese, all right. And now you're going to send him over to that cheese. Okay, so play with your imaginary dog, get him over into the zone.
look at that dog. Wow.
Oh, look at that.
It's so much
Oh,
fun.
that's a good
Woo.
one. That's a good one there.
Woo.
Yay.
Woo.
Woohoo.
Look at
that.
it.
Look at
It's
that
so
right
cool.
there. Woohoo. Look at that. Oh, we got T over there too. Yes. How can
Hey.
we compete with T?
Hey, Foster. Foster, I got a dog over
Foster.
here.
Is
I
that
got a
Foster?
dog over here.
Hi, Foster.
Woohoo.
Woo, there's Foster. Even the most stubborn
Yes.
dogs will come to a zone when you...
Yeah.
Yes, there it is.
Yes.
Okay, so put him in whatever position. You did
Sit.
great looking where you want his butt pointed. Okay, put him
Stay.
into the stay. Get
Stay.
yourself set up next to him.
Stay.
Tell him watch it.
Watch it. Watch it. Yes. Go. Well, you were watching it, and then you looked at me. Yes.
Good. Okay, so release. All right.
Oh, I forgot the release.
Yep, that's okay. So let's go ahead and get him to kind of look around a little bit, and let's try that one more time.
Okay.
But that was excellent.
Here. I know how to get you to look around. Go find it.
There you go. Okay, so get him back over there.
Yeah, that
Get his
doesn't-
butt pointed where you want his butt to be.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Put him in a stay.
Stay.
Position yourself.
Stay.
And when you're ready, you can tell him to watch it.
Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. Yes.
All right.
I forgot the all right again. That's so hard to
Yay,
remember.
good job. I
Yay.
know. It's practice.
Yeah.
So that's where what people think that they need the dog all the time, but we could actually have the dog in another country, and you can practice these skills without your dog, so you start to get that pattern going right there. So what did we cover in just a few minutes here?
A lot.
Yep. And these will be incorporated in feeding times. These can be incorporated in potty times, in going in a crate, coming out of a crate. The more repetition you have with these, there we go, good job. The more repetition you have of these on a daily basis, the more you will make these basic skills very sound.
Okay.
So right here, this is even kind of a little practice session right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting his butt lined up where I want it. Then I'm going to get his butt lined up over there. Oh, that's good, good, good. Oh, here we go, here we go. So this is what I can do in the ring. I'm just getting his butt lined up. I'm not looking at this dog. And then I just move over here like this. My judge is over at this spot. Oh, there it is. There it is. Stand. Stay. 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 All right, find it. Yes, good job. So playing little games like that will lead into what I'm going to do in the ring later on. So, but you have to do this multiple times a day. See how you're getting his butt wherever you want it? Now you can
Sit.
now you can have perfect free stacks whenever you want. Isn't that cool?
Stay. Watch it. All right. Yes, except I wasn't
Excellent.
facing it that time.
Yeah.
but-
Now, when you send him out to a direction, you want your toes pointed there.
Right.
Because he's reading your body language.
As soon as I did that, I went, oh, yeah,
Yep.
I'm in the wrong spot.
But that's just going to take some practice.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so let's go ahead and pop him back in the crate.
Come on, bud.